Looking for the best motherboard for the Ryzen 5 5600X3D? AMD released just a few weeks ago the new Ryzen 5 5600X3D, and it promises great gaming experience at an affordable price. In this video, we've done an extensive review of the top motherboards for the Ryzen 5 5600X3D and rated them according to VRM design, aesthetics, features, and value for money. Price information and all motherboards mentioned in the video are available in the description. So let's get started. Number 3, ASRock B550M Steel Legend, best budget motherboard for Ryzen 5 5600X3D. ASRock Steel Legend motherboard series has been around for a bit now. Just like their Tai Chi lineup, the Steel Legend motherboards focus on providing a reliable experience along with a unique design. This series further focuses on value as well, which is what the B550M Steel Legend stands for. This is by far the best budget motherboard for the Ryzen 5 5600X3D. ASRock is using white and silver as the main focus here, providing an almost stainless steel look on the heatsinks and exterior. This finish can be seen on the heatsink for the power delivery as well as the chipset heatsink. The chipset heatsink further extends to provide shielding to an M2 slot as well. This motherboard features 2 M2 slots, and the second slot does not have any kind of heatsink or shielding over it. The rear panel cover and VRM heatsink feature ASRock branding over them along with controllable RGB. In terms of power delivery, ASRock uses a 10-phase 8+2 VRM configuration, more than enough for the Ryzen 5 5600X3D. It is always great to see cheaper motherboards use quality components for the power delivery, and that earns the Steel Legend extra points. Memory overclocking is quite good as well, as the Steel Legend can support RAM speeds of up to 4733 MHz if overclocked. Other than that, it has a good selection of USB ports and even features a clear CMOS button. The Type-C port is present in the form of USB 3.2 Gen 2 as well, which is always a nice touch. Overall, the B550M Steel Legend is a solid micro ATX motherboard. For those who don't care about crazy overclocks and can put up with the lack of Wi-Fi and 2 SATA ports being disabled when the secondary M2 slots occupied, then this is a great motherboard in terms of the entry-level B550 options for you. Remember, you're getting access to PCIe Gen 4 at a great price. Number 2, Gigabyte X570 Aorus Master, best high-end motherboard for Ryzen 5 5600X3D. The Gigabyte X570 Aorus Master is undoubtedly among the best AMD X570 chipset motherboards on the market. It's an all-rounder that covers all bases, from gaming to productivity, and that's why it's our choice for the best high-end motherboard for the Ryzen 5 5600X3D. It has a premium price tag, but it's worth it for the features and performance it offers. The VRM design is top-notch, and it's able to deliver clean power to the CPU even when overclocking. The VRM layout is solid and the power delivery is great, but what really sets this motherboard apart is the quality of the VRMs and the heatsinks. It is true that the 14+2 phase VRM on this motherboard is among the best we've seen for an X570 board, and it is cooled by some of the largest and most effective heatsinks we've ever seen on a motherboard. This combination makes for a motherboard that can easily handle any CPU you throw at it, and it's able to keep the CPU cool even when overclocking. The X570 Aorus Master is one of the higher-end motherboards in the company's lineup for AMD's Ryzen 5000 series processors. It offers a good mix of features and connectivity, including support for Wi-Fi 6 and 2.5 gigabit per second Ethernet, as well as 3 M2 slots for storage devices. In terms of USBs, there are 8 ports on the back panel and more internal headers for the front panel connections. We would have liked, however, to see some display outputs on the board, which can come in handy for diagnostic purposes. The design of the Aorus Master is eye-catching, with an aggressive design language and RGB lighting. The motherboard can also communicate with Gigabyte Aorus software that lets you control the lighting and other features. Some may find the design of the board a bit too flashy and aggressive, but for most users, it should fit in perfectly with the rest of their components. Gigabyte's X570 Aorus Extreme is another ultra high-end option in this category, but we chose the X570 Aorus Master thanks to its better price-to-performance ratio. The Aorus Extreme option does not justify its extremely high price tag when paired with a Ryzen 5 5600X3D. Overall, the Gigabyte X570 Aorus Master is a great option for anyone looking for a high-end AMD X570 chipset motherboard to pair with the Ryzen 5 5600X3D. While it isn't cheap by any means, the Aorus Master does well to justify its price tag by delivering an unparalleled set of features. Number 1, Asus Tough Gaming X570 plus Wi-Fi, our top choice. X570 and value are two words that rarely go hand in hand. However, again, Asus, of all manufacturers, has managed to pull off another incredible feat. Their Tough Gaming lineup is a viable alternative to their more popular and more expensive Strix lineup of motherboards. Ditching some of the extra bells and whistles, the Tough Gaming X570 Plus Wi-Fi focuses on pure value, making it ideal to pair with the Ryzen 5 5600X3D. Design-wise, the Tough lineup is very unlike the ROG series. Instead of the all-black theme, we get a black and yellow combination here. In theory, that sounds a bit tacky, but with the subtle implementation here, it works well. The logo reminds you of something you'd see in Call of Duty or Battlefield back in the day. This logo can be seen on the rear panel panel cover, PCB, and chipset heatsink. Apart from that, it is using a 12+2 power delivery system that works well on this X570 platform. You get Asus's incredible BIOS functionality and Aura Sync support, both of which are features loved by many. You also get 802.11 AC Wi-Fi, Realtek S1200A audio, Wi-Fi, and Gigabit Ethernet. All of these are premium components, and you don't need to shell out a ridiculous amount of cash here either. This is where the beauty of this motherboard lies. While you only get 2 M2 slots and it lacks front panel USB 3.1 Gen 2 ports, it makes up for it with its excellent value. Not to mention, you get access to Aura Sync, which is one of the best controllable RGB platforms out there on the market. For an X570 board, the Asus TUF Gaming drives quite a decent bargain, making it the perfect motherboard for the Ryzen 5 5600X 3D. So what do you think? Which of these is the best motherboard for Ryzen 5 5600X 3D for you? Or do you think another motherboard is better? Tell us in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Have an awesome day.